A pruning demonstration for the North Ogden Orchard. We want to make sure that we prune these trees right, we get our maximum amount of fruit, and at the same time make sure our maximum amount of fruit goes to the cannery and that everybody's safe and happy. Now, first thing we want to do is there's 3 parts of pruning. These are the basic parts of pruning. You want to prune out the dead wood, you want to prune the top off so that the tree's not growing so high that it's out of control, and you want to prune for size and shape of fruit. There's one thing we don't want to do, so we've got the 3 things we do. The one thing we don't want to do is take the fruit out of the bottom and the middle where it's easiest to get to and where it's easiest to pick. We don't want all our fruit in the very top of the tree. We want it down here as much as we possibly can. So the first thing we're going to do with this tree is we're going to find all the dead wood. Now, dead wood is wood that has died over the winter time, and when we crack it open, it gives us a little crack, and it's all brown on the inside. Okay, all brown on the inside. Live wood is all green on the inside. See how that's green on the inside? And so what you want to do is you want to crack some wood open and see which wood is brown and dead and which wood's not. And you can send a whole bunch of people through doing nothing but cutting out dead wood. Once my dead wood's cut off my branch, then I'm going to prune the tops out to top the tree. And I really want to keep it, I'm 6 feet tall, and I really don't want it much more than 8 feet. And then at harvest, it'll be down here to the 6-foot level, and at harvest, we'll be able to pick it just reaching up and just grab it right off the tree at the 6-foot level. So I'm going to come up here to 8 feet, and I'm going to top my whole tree at 8 feet. Now, experts would tell you you got to make lateral cuts and certain kinds of cuts and all that kind of thing. And that's all nice and good, but we're not professionals. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the top off, and then we'll prune to 5 buds for shape and size of fruit. So I'm pruning the tops of this tree out really quick, just reaching up here somewhere around 8 feet and taking the top out, which I've just done. The next thing I'm going to do is prune for size and shape of fruit. Now, we prune at bloom around here, and that's because it's so easy to see which is bloom and which is leaves. These little green guys, they're all leaves. They're all leaves. These little furry fuzzy guys right here are all bloom. This is bloom, 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 bloom. Now, we could leave this just like this, but we would have a lot of thinning to do come thinning time. So what we've said is anything smaller than a pencil-sized limb, okay, we count to 5 fruits. If it's bigger than a pencil size, like this branch is right here, and this is right here, and this is right here, we don't count until we get to the pencil size or smaller. This is pencil size or smaller out here, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where we'll make our cuts. Okay, on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we make our cut right there. And that's how we prune for size and shape of fruit. Now, we could get caught up with cross branching and everything else, but we're just fine going, here's a branch bigger than a pencil, this is smaller than a pencil, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This makes it simple and easy for everyone to understand. And we're going to do that to the whole tree, okay? And we're not going to take anything out of the middle, but we'll cut all the dead stuff out, just like we're doing on the outside, dead stuff, and we're going to count to 5 fruits, okay, on this. Now, this is a young tree, and this is how all the newer parts of the orchard are going to be, and we're going to pick them all off the ground. Now, when we come over to this tree, this is an older tree, okay, and notice everything from here to my 6-foot level, I'm 6 feet, I have hardly anything below 6 feet on this tree. If I cut this tree at 6 feet, I don't have any production left on it. And unfortunately, we haven't pruned the middle right and the bottom right over the years. And so what's left to us on this tree is everything at 6 feet to 8 feet. We can't prune smaller than 8 feet or lower than 8 feet on this, or we won't have any production. So on these older trees, we've got to prune at 8 feet. Would that be our choice? No, that is not the choice thing for us to do. We would rather have a young tree that we can prune between 6 and 8 feet rather than having to go all the way up here in order to get our fruit. But we'll still prune this at 8 feet right here, and we'll take the tops off just like we did on the other tree, okay? And if I had no fruit at 8 feet, I'd have to go even higher, because we do have some old trees out here that have to be pruned at 12 feet, okay, because they have nothing down here lower. And there would be my 8-foot mark right there, and I would prune at my 8-foot mark, but I'm going to have to leave everything I possibly can that's got fruiting buds on it coming out like this, okay, in order to get the full production off of this tree. And that's the difference. We basically have young trees that we can prune shorter and leave all the stuff in the middle. We have older trees that we have to prune taller because there is no stuff in the middle. And we've got tall trees where we have to leave all the stuff at the top because we would have no production off them any other way.